Beware of people who pray and meditate to their higher power constantly for revenge on other people. These people are working in darkness. And some of y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm going to give you a few of the things that people say, which is a low-key way of them wishing revenge on other people. Let's say that you had a problem with a person. And that person has probably tried to extend the olive branch, but you ain't in the mood to forgive them. You ain't in the mood to feel, you're not in the mood for any type of communication at all. And you still stewing in your juices. You still angry about the whole thing. Even though the other person has tried to do whatever they can to smooth things over, you ain't feeling it. You just don't care. You still butthurt. Instead of trying to work through those negative feelings, you sit up there and say, in conversation, oh, well, you know what, I tell you, I don't deal with so and so anymore. But you know what? I just pray that the Lord just fixes those evil ways and whatnot, because they're going to suffer from that. God don't like ugly. Now, deep down, when you said that you didn't want anything good for that person. But deep down, you want revenge taken out on that person, and you use it in the name of God. First thing that people say when they get pissed off at somebody else. Someone, mind you now, this person is trying to do everything they can to try to get into try to show remorse. I couldn't understand if they were still doing the same crap over and over again. But this person is still angry. They never got over their resolved feelings. And the first thing they want to do is they want to go to the altar in church and say, oh, well, you know what, this person did me wrong. But God don't like ugly because he's a God of vengeance. Now, what do y'all think that is? Does that sound like sound like a reasonable thing to say? That person is still angry. So what they'll do is turn around and use prayer as a mean to exercise their revenge. They're asking God to take revenge out on that person. You don't know what that person has gone through, especially if that person is trying to take time and do the right thing, and they've switched everything around and they have already approached you and tried to be kind to you and everything else. You still angry. And it's not good enough that you're still angry. You want them to hurt. You want them to be frustrated. But then you'll turn around and you'll say these things. Go around and tell other people in conversation, oh, well, I don't deal with so-and-so anymore because she did so-and-so back in 1985. She did so-and-so back in 2013. And you're not even telling that person that person had already tried to reach out to you. You're not going to tell that part. You're going to talk about the bad thing that they did, but you're not going to talk about the fact that that person has tried to rebuild and rekindle a relationship with you. You'll talk about the negative about that person, but you won't talk about the positive. And then you'll sit there and say, well, they did so-and-so, but that's okay because God don't like ugly. He's a revengeful God. You know what you're doing? You are turning around and you are making that bad feeling that you have inside of you, you're making it worse by speaking ill on someone else. You're wishing revenge on someone else. You don't know what that person went through since 1985, since 2013. You don't know where they've been. You don't know what they've done. You have no clue. You're still stuck in that negative headspace. You're still stuck in being angry. And this person probably knows that, but they're trying to do their best to try to get along with you because it could be a family situation where it could be a brother or sister or a cousin or somebody involved, and you don't want to you don't want to disturb the family dynamic. I get that, but sometimes you just got to pull away and say screw it. You got to pull away and say screw it. Because you can't get into anybody's head, and I've said this before. You can't get into anybody's head and make them do anything. Look at it like this. If you try to do the best you can, you mind your own business, and you try to show politeness and kindness to that person, and they still running their mouth about something you did 10, 15, 20 years ago that's dead and gone, then you don't need them in your life. You really don't. Because at least you've worked on yourself. They're still stuck back there. So just beware of people who do that. Beware of people who do that. Because first of all, they got anger management issues and their emotions are out of control. You got somebody still meditating over something and you try to do your best to try to get along with them. Since then. And they still running around within earshot talking about something that was done 15, 20, 30 years ago. then they need some help. They need to go see somebody. They really do. So do you want somebody like that in your life? I wouldn't think so. Just saying.